looking through the list, it's quite a different list to what we had in the K1. So I don't think we've got anyone going back to back from C1 to K1.
We have. I think it's a completely different field, which is
it's a bit of a surprise.
For the sport.
Yeah,
it's good for the sport. Of course, the name at the top of the list is the biggest name here this week. As two-time Olympian, a medalist at the Senior World Championships. I'm talking Ana Satilla from Brazil. She'll be the one that everyone will be watching. She's so hot and cold, though, Robin Jeffrey. You just never know what you're going to get with Anna. She's never been able to win a major gold medal, even though she's been around for quite some time. Maybe today's her best.
Could this be the event?
Could it be today? What do you think? Has she been paddling well, do you think?
Well, her semi-final was an absolute stormer. I mean, I love the way that Anna attacks the course and really goes for it. She cuts those lines, and she can blow out. So we'll see how she handles the pressure of being the last off as well. And can the pole put down that marker that we saw yesterday, Antonia Galiskova winning from 10th position?
Yeah. Well, Alexandra Stark, she won the C2 mixed gold medal last year at the World Championships in Rio. It was a big moment for Polish canoeing. She's been one of the faces of this event. As you saw in the introduction, she's certainly been used to help raise the publicity. There's quite a big Polish contingent here watching her today. The pressure will be on this young lady, but she's been to the very top before. Others in the final, I think Sona Stanowski has proven herself at a junior level. She's won a silver and a bronze medal at a junior. This is a step up to under 23s.
Yeah,
the
sure
test
is.
for her. Of the rest, look, it's a pretty open field. I know that you think that the Australian girl, Kate Eckart's been paddling well. She's been around for a long time.
She has. She's got a lot of experience. This is her second last year of under 23s, so Kate's really looking forward to delivering. She just missed out on senior team selection this year, so she is really peaking for this event, and she's looking great. Otherwise, we've got Monica Doria Villarubla, and Dora.
She had a career highlight a couple of weeks ago. She finished second in a Senior World Cup in Tucson, which was a breakthrough moment for her. So,
and Marjorie Delasus from France is very fast as well. So we've got some great competitors here. Alsu Minazova was the only one to compete in the K1 yesterday final.
Yes. The great thing about, Rob, this final field is there are 9 different nations and 3 continents represented, which is fantastic for the sport. So we're underway. Here she is, the young lady from Poland, Alexandra Stark.
Yeah. So coming into the first up, smooth, controlled, trying to keep the paddle in the water as much as possible. Just a little bit conservative off the start, I feel. Maybe just trying to build into the run gradually. So nice tight exit, getting out on the back. That's a tight line. So she's choosing to spin in behind the gate. It's not a bad option because it does allow you to paddle away more smoothly using the wave behind gate 6. Taking the bow around gate 8. No risk there. Almost touching the outside pole on gate 9. So just needs to be aware. She's looking for a clean, smooth run.
Yesterday we saw a lot of paddlers get into trouble between gate 8 and 9, so she'd be happy to negotiate that without any problems.
Yeah, she will. She's through the tough section now, and now needs to really get the speed on the boat. So this is the open section. The poles are known for their aggressive style and fast work in the open sections.
This has been a good run so far, nice and clean and reasonably fast too, Rob.
Yeah, I think she's looking to set down that mark. Good quick switch. Runs a little bit deep, but that'll give her more speed for the exit. So jumping up on top, getting a little bit dragged over to the side there, but that'll open up the angle for 18. Silly touch there, really, considering the room she'd given herself. Now driving on the upstream stroke, so staying on the left, pushes through. Will she switch back? No. Stash is more of a righty paddler, but opting to stay on the left in that last up. And it's a solid run. I think that touch will hurt her though.
Yes, that touch could be crucial. It's a reasonable time, but I think that the fastest time in the semi-finals this morning, Ana Satilla, was a 1:04.77. So
quite a way down.
She's a long way behind Ana Satilla's qualifying time.
Stanoska's in trouble up the top. She's sliding, but she recovered very well. She didn't get across from gate 1 to gate 2 nicely and got a little bit caught in the wave. But a great recovery off the start, and she comes in way too high. She is in real trouble, and she's getting surfed around now. She's going to get in the stopper. What's she going to do? Surely she's going to cop the 50.
She's taken the 50.
So that is game over for Sona Stanovska.
Wow, she will be absolutely devastated because she would feel, looking at this field, that she would have a good chance of finishing top 5, and she's blown it so early in the race. Let's just hope she digs in and really finishes it off now and practices and learns a little bit from that. But devastating way. Are you surprised that she didn't turn around and try and go back through the gate again?
I am. I'm really surprised. It wasn't an unrecoverable position. Sure, it was a big mistake, and it could certainly hurt your chances medal-wise. But, yeah, she let it go a little bit there, unfortunately. But she'll learn from this.
Yeah, Sona Stanovska, for those who watch the sport, made a bit of a claim for fame earlier this year, I think in Bratislava, wasn't it, when her boat began to tip and she reached up and grabbed one of the poles to try and steady the boat, and pulled the whole pole down.
Yeah, reflex action, I think, but yeah, it was one of the stranger things I've ever seen on a slalom course.
And it caused a major delay on the whole course, and everything was put behind schedule for poor old Sona. I think she was mortified with what she'd done. Nice girl, fantastic, from a famous paddling family, of course. The Stanovskas are a very, very well-known family, paddling family in Slovakia.
Yeah. And she's got a lot of experience for such a young competitor.
Yeah.
As we move up to the start now, and our next competitor, Anjoy Lamero from Spain.
Yep, this is easily her biggest event so far. She's never made a final at any level, so this is a big moment for her. Just getting here, I'm sure, is a mighty achievement. So she's got nothing to lose, having already reached this level.
Already a touch. That eddy is so strong, you have to aim a half a metre below, I believe, into gate 5, and that'll give you a better exit. But the girls just running a little bit short at the lines. Maybe thinking they need to cut the lines a little bit more in the final to go faster. But Lamera has recovered really well. Earlier in the year, she had a bit of a shoulder injury in London in training before the World Cup there. So to come back from that and be making the final here, as good as she drops a little bit low, she wasn't able to turn back and get the speed running back to the left into gate 11, and ended up, not using the feature very well at all. So big sprint now. Just putting a bit more hurt in the arms before the technical bottom section. Weights, nice jump up. That's very smooth. Great control, but she ran a little bit too deep and hit the outside pole in 15. So penalties are starting to add up as she just avoids 16 and gets surfed in the hole. All those kind of extra milliseconds where she's waiting and sliding means that she's losing control and losing speed.
She looks tired too, Robin. They've all had a run already this morning for the semi-finals. There's not a big break between the two runs, so for some of them it might be pretty tough to get back out there and do something formidable.
Yeah, and the mental energy as well is a big one as well with the short turnaround. You're having to stay alert for a longer period of time. As she finishes in time of 1:14.95, putting her in second at the moment.
Yes, so plenty of wriggle room for the rest of the field at the moment, with the fastest time on the course a 1:10. And there's an early... that was careless early touch as well. Goodness me.
Yeah, gate 1 is set right on the lip of that drop, so you really want to do a lot of work early to get across to gate 2. But some of the athletes, as Minazova, just got caught in that trap there, coming back too early. Good spin above gate 6 there. She fights back, but she's getting a little bit caught. But good work. So smooth entry, leads with the hips into gate 8, runs it round. That's a great spin. She
has experienced a final before. She was in the Junior World Finals back in... there's another touch. Just as she got the time up too, she was 1.2 quicker, but now another touch will put her behind once again.
That was the best gate 11 we've seen so far. The speed that she carried out of there should help her, but she chose to stay on the left-hand side, on the downstream side, going from gate 12 to 13, which made her slide out a little bit. I'm surprised she chose that option. She's a very accomplished switcher. I'm not sure that was the right option there, but that was a brilliant move into gate 15. Back on the right. And she is well up, 4.3 seconds up. So the Russian is on an absolute charge to the finish now.
With 4 seconds of penalties, this is a very fast time.
Yeah, she just turned back a little bit early on gate 18, then had to wait, and that meant she slid and wasn't able to carry her speed into 19:20. So will that impact on the time? I think she's going to go into the lead, but could hurt at the end of the final.
Oh, that is a very fast. That is faster than Anna Satila's time in qualifying.
With 2 touches.
In the semi-final, sorry.
That is blistering.
With 2 touches.
So 100 is the new benchmark then.
That is...
For raw time anyway.
For raw time. That is a really, really quick time for Elsa Minizova from Russia. It's going to really lay down the challenge for the rest of the paddlers. No Teresa Fizarova, by the way, in this race. She is probably the big miss from here, Robin. She got herself into trouble at one of the gates and had to go back in the semi-final, and it cost her dearly. You would have expected that she would have been one of the medal favourites, so for her not to be here is a big loss for this final.
Yeah, I've definitely penciled her into the medals, but her teammate Martina Satkova, looking like a smooth start to the course. She runs in very tight lines around gate 8, so she is looking aggressive, gets a little bit held, turns above, so slightly long lines in that spin in 9, and that's why she's 1.7 behind, even with Minizova's early touch.
2-second penalty, yeah.
Yeah, early 2 penalties actually. So
Martina Satkova is a very accomplished wild water paddler. I'm sure she'll be heading to Banja Luka next week for the World Wild Water Championships. But she's also really starting to make her mark herself. Her and her sister Gabriella, they're making their mark in slalom as well.
Yeah, excellent entry into 18. She chose to stay on the inside edge and slid a little bit in the back of gate 18, but maintaining her speed, three seconds down, is still very much in the hunt for the medals, as we saw, because Minizova's run was just so fast. So looking smooth, pushes hips deep into the good water in the back of the eddy. Now she has to charge. Stays at the front of the boat, quick strokes.
Be second. The question is, okay, so that's not a bad. I mean,
is it enough?
It's going to be touch and go, because in qualifying we saw the fastest time was 1:04 from Satila, but we're seeing in finals, we saw it yesterday, we're seeing it again today. The times tend to be a little bit slower, so surprisingly maybe, but that's a challenging time for the rest of the field for Martina Satkova. Monika Skachova from Slovakia has been around for a little while. She was the 2018 European under-23 champion, so her form last year was very good.
Yeah, she's been a big improver on the senior team this year. So she's taking that experience now into the under-23s, leading on the first split by 0.5 of a second. So looking smooth, opting to stay on the crossbow. So she does not do a lot of switching, if any. One of the few ladies to stay on the right.
How much of an advantage do you have, Rob, if you can switch, do you think, as somebody who coaches in that, and you've been coaching juniors in how to switch? How much of an advantage do you think it gives you?
It gives you a big advantage because you've got one side that stays fresher, but also the crossbow is such an unnatural position, such a weak position for a forward stroke. It can be an advantage on a turn-in. So I think that's where Skachova's looking to make time. Say out of gate 20 here, she can wind up like a spring and use that rotation to help propel her downstream.
This is going to be fast.
Yeah, so really good time, 1.5 down, but she is well in the hunt for the medals here.
I tell you what, though, when you see that run, which looked pretty clean and pretty, problem-free, it makes you realise how good Elsa Minizova's run was. I mean, she was even faster with 2 gate touches.
Yeah, she was absolutely flying.
So Kate Eckert, the young Australian, looking to repeat her performance from way back in, I think, 2015 when she made in the juniors. She picked up a bronze medal, I think it was. Rob, you probably remember.
Yeah.
But we've been waiting to see Kate repeat that form. Maybe today's the day.
Oh, and she drops a little bit low off the back of the spin. Good exit, so all is not lost, but she's going to have to find a little bit more time down the bottom to challenge Minazova's time. So pushing across, she's dropping low and cops a touch. She almost followed Noemi's mistake in the semi of falling off the back, and big edge there. Kate needs to keep her body over the boat now for the rest of the run. One of her real strengths is that she stays so well centered, so balanced in the boat. She's not the tallest paddler in the circuit, no. and she uses that to great advantage, actually, most of the time. So we just watch her, patient, great little edge up on top. So she's running in tight around 15, having to slide the tail around, actually. So maybe a little bit too tight on the entry. So timing now, I think she's going to be... She's only 1.7 down, so that is a great recovery with the touch. Can she pull it together? Minazova was sliding a little bit at the bottom. Kate gives herself a little bit more room. She's attacking through gate 19. Good run. Has to pull it back into 20. No touch. Very tight exit, but she had to pull back. She's outside the time. Can she challenge?
She got a touch on 20.
There was a touch on 20. Okay.
I didn't see it, but we'll wait and see. There is no asterisk at this stage, so just outside the medals at this stage for Kate Eckhart. I'm sure they'll go back and have a look at the gate 20, but they called it for a touch. So her time 1:08 puts her into fourth. So we're down to the last three, and this young lady from France, Marjorie Delassus, she was 14th in the Under-23 World Championships last year, but her paddling has really come on in the last 12 months. So she'll know, I'm sure they know the time they've got to beat up on the board, and that is a really tough time, Minazova's time. But if anyone can do it, this girl has got the ability.
Yeah, she certainly does. And the first three ups now have been excellent. She just places the boat, very well evaded on gate 9, but places the nose in into the eddy and then pushes the hips up, maintains her speed. She's ducking and weaving like a good boxer. So she's 1.5 up on that first split. So this is looking like she's going to challenge Minazova. I feel like she lost a little bit of time, but with the penalties that Minazova picked up, still very much in the hunt. So she is charging here. Comes in, gives herself a little bit of room behind, looking to maintain the speed on the exit. Does she avoid gate 16? Beautifully. So pulls the tail in behind. She's still 0.8 up. She is on the charge to the finish line here. Jumps over, squashes the last stopper. Stays on the crossbow. So on the downstream side, has to pull the nose around. So getting a little bit sticky, and calls a touch on gate 19. Will that be the difference?
I think so. Dear. I think she'll find herself outside the goal, but can she push for a minor medal? That's the big question now.
It's going to be a challenge.
No, she's well out.
Goes into third, 2.34 down.
Just that careless gate touch, and really it wasn't. It was an easily avoidable touch, wasn't it? So
it was, but she sold herself into trouble with the stroke sequence that she chose before gate 18. So opting to stay on the sweep and getting the tail sliding around behind her. But at the top of the course, Doria Villarubla, she has been the biggest improver in the last couple of years,
hasn't she?
Yeah.
She was so emotional and so stoked when she picked up a silver medal in Tucson at the World Cup, because it was her first big event, first big medal. And you could just tell that her confidence just grew so much. Can she bring it into this level now, to the Under-23 World Championships? Nice start so far, clean at the top of the course.
Yeah, looking very smooth so far. Again, you watch her body and it stays so neutral, so quiet in the boat. I think there's a little touch on the back on gate 9, yes, confirmed by the judges. So eagle-eye judges are on it, and she's sliding off the back. So didn't use the feature, got a little bit stuck on the back of the boat, just as I gave her a compliment for staying so neutral in the boat. So Doria needs to get on her bike.
maybe it's slipped away from her as well. She needs to do everything absolutely perfect for the back end of this course if she's going to figure in the medals. She's lost a bit of time up the top.
Yeah, just doing a little bit of K1 paddling as well. Paddling on either side. It's not the quickest. That's a tight exit, but she's significantly down on this second split as we see her break the line here, 5.7 seconds down. So she is going to have to absolutely fly if she wants to challenge down here. Opting to go into the left-hand stroke, but then chooses to switch back to the right. That was a strange decision there, if I'm being honest. But she managed to pull it off, albeit with a slight braking stroke. Sprinting to the line now, she unfortunately is out of the medals.
So she's finished back in 7th place, which I'm sure she'll be, well, that touch obviously, and then she got into trouble up the top and had to recover, and so that's cost her dearly. But here is the one lady who can upset the apple cart. If she's in her best form, she will win this. She will win a gold medal here if she's in her best. But the problem with Anna Sotila is that you never know what you're going to get. With Anna.
I think she could go sub 100 if she really does her best run. That's there for her.
I don't know about you, Rob, but I just feel nervous watching her because I just think there's every gate you think something could happen.
Well, it's for Anna. That was a very conservative start, pushing all the way over to the eddy as she has to pull herself around. Too tight on the entry. As she lost a lot of speed on the cross, manages it well. So she's still up, 0.5 up. Very nicely weighted.
Come on, Anna. Let's see your best. Let's see you put it all together. I think everybody would love to see Anna Sotila.
Yeah, when she's flying,
she's fantastic.
Almost no one better to watch in the world than Anna Sotila.
But she's never ever, as I said in the introduction, she's never won a gold medal at a senior competition, except for the Pan Am. She's dominated the Pan Ams, obviously, but she's never won a gold medal at any other competition at this level.
It's looking good. 2.23 up.
Hold it together, Anna. Come on.
Come on, I want to see a sub 100.
Yes, let's see you go under 100. Come on.
It's looking good, looking good. So pushes into the last up. Just the edge control, the hip control.
Gosh, I think she's done it. This is going to be a
really
good time. She's going.
Not quite,
she's got.
But
Look how happy she
3.4
is.
seconds
Look
ahead.
at this. That is the breakthrough. That for Anna Sotila is the moment of her career. That is the moment that she's been working towards for years and years, and just it's eluded her for so long. And today, Rob, it's come together for this young lady, and look at her. Just look at that emotion. She knows what this means. It's a big monkey off her back because for so long she's been doubting herself whether she could put it together and do it in a major competition. She will be pumped.
I have chills at the moment. That was so good to watch. And yeah, like you say, she first went to London when she was 15, 16 years old.
So young, in 2012 at the Olympics. So you were competing there with her.
Yeah.
And at the time, everyone was talking, okay, she was from Brazil, could she ever go on with it? And then her
it's a good bit of development, but to see her now charging down the course.
I'm happy to say there's no asterisk next to her name.
No, she didn't leave anything to chance there. Didn't put anything in the judges' hands, make them have to make any hard decisions. She owned that run, she delivered. That was great to watch. That's why we love this sport.
I'm really looking forward to hearing her post-interview because I can imagine she will be over the moon.
She will be. She'll be so elated. Congratulations as well to Alisu Minazova.
Well, again, without the gate touches, she would have won.
Yeah. So an incredible run, and I think a bit of a breakout moment for her here in this under-23 World Champs, making it both in K1 and C1. And congratulations to Monika Skacheva from the Slovakia.
But there we go, confirmation now. It is official. Anna Sotila, the biggest win of her career so far. It's happened here today, and at home I hope you really enjoyed it because it was a very special run. So gold for Anna Sotila from Brazil. She's a two-time Olympian. She is the big name performer here, but also the big name performer that we've all been waiting for so long to see the very, very best of. And I think, Rob, today we got close to that. Alisu Minazova from Russia picks up the silver, and Monika Skacheva from Slovakia the bronze. Here she is. Well, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Unfortunately, we've lost the interview halfway through with Anna, but what we did hear her say is that it was so important for her country, and that she was upset yesterday with the way things went, and really knuckled down and realised that she had to fight back and do something special today, and she did that. So congratulations to her. It's a great moment, and I think we'll now see her go ahead in leaps and bounds and really make a bit of a mark.
Yeah, she's sent out a bit of a warning shot there to the rest of the world. So look out come the next round of World Cups and World Champs in Laseo. Anna Satilla now has a major World Championship gold medal.
So let's now look, Rob, at the men's, and it's a very good field. There's some big names there. There's 8 different countries represented in the final. There's a big name missing, David Laurent from Spain. Are you surprised that he didn't make the final?
I had him in the final, looking at the start list for sure. Llorente, he's been on an absolute fire this year.
I'm tipping, this is my big tip, Rob, I'm going to put my neck on the line here. We're going to have a repeat of the women's junior yesterday afternoon, with the first athlete on the course setting down a mark that might prove too much, because Mario Leighton has been around for a while.
He has.
We know he's fast. He's very fast.
He's won a junior world championships in Penrith in 2014.
He's been a silver medalist in the under 23 from 2017.
Doesn't mind striking a Superman pose. So he's got form. He knows this course well. He's competed here many times, so I don't mind that. I think there's a few other smokies in there, a few other chances.
All right, well, it is a very good field. His teammate Felix Oshmarch is a former junior world champion, so that could be a challenge, but he's really putting it out there, Mario. He was disappointed after his semi-final run, and I think he thought that his time would not get him through, but so many athletes after him made mistakes. Wow, look at that.
Opting for the spin, I'm surprised. It was impressive, but it was, well, I think we saw most of the guys going direct on gate 6 in the first run. That's a good spin. So stayed in the flow, stayed on the shortest line possible. So setting an early mark, really nicely up the top here, looking to keep as many forward strokes as he can while still running the shortest line. So looking like a good start for Super Mario here.
Super Mario. Yep, so far so good. It looks fast, it looks clean. He looks determined, doesn't he? He's been to the Olympics in 2016, so he's tasted the big time.
Yeah, he certainly has. So giving himself room, stroke length shortening up a little bit at the bottom.
The fastest time in the semis was 84.65, so we can use that as a marker. I think he's going to be outside that, but not by a lot.
No, a very good marker to set down initially, so 87.72.
Yeah, that's
in the hunt.
That'll be in the mix, you would think, because 84.65 was the time set by the Frenchman Paul Olin.
Yeah, we'll see if he levels up Super Mario.
Now, Chris Bowers is another who I think for a long time thought he might not make the final, but everything went pear-shaped for a lot of the later athletes, so he gets a chance now. He's been around for a while, Chris. I know you know Chris reasonably well, and he's a nice guy and a good, strong paddler.
Yeah, no, excellent young man and great paddler as well.
And the Brits have fancied him all week as a medal prospect here, so let's see if he can produce.
A good early start. Very short lines, great sweep up. So the kayak men are going to be really aggressive on that first up left. And he's very aggressive into gate 5 and well controlled. I thought he might get dragged up high there. He's opting to spin as well. So maybe they've looked at the video and thought that the spin's the faster option.
They would have all looked at yesterday's.
Very close. So he is cutting those lines to the nth degree as he goes direct on gate 9. I don't think we've seen that before. So 0.1 up. 0.1 down in the first split, so right on pace. Leitner lost a little bit of time at the bottom, I felt, as his stroke length shortened and fatigue set in.
So he needs to. Christopher Bowers from Great Britain, incredibly strong K1 competition in Great Britain.
Oh, no, and he's
careless
copped a touch. So too tight. You saw him just having to sweep the tail in behind him to try and get around the gate. Unfortunately, wasn't able to achieve a clean navigation.
And that was tight as well. So he's cutting the lines, that's for sure. But that gate touch, I think, will prove the difference.
I don't think you can afford a touch.
No. You have to be clean
K1m.
today, I think. Leitner was very fast.
So he's outside the time. Even without the touch, puts him in second with a 90.19. So Bowers will be disappointed with that. So
there are asterisks at the moment next to both Leitner and Bowers. So the judges are having a look at both of those athletes. I didn't see anything with Leitner, but now the Polish paddler, his first big final. It's a big moment for him.
Yeah, Jakub Brzezinski. I was talking to Natas Polacic about him before, and so he was a C2 paddler with Igor Stuba. He's now jumped in a kayak. Some would say regressed, but...
No, not some would say, you would say. Nobody else would say that, but you would say that.
But he's looking...
Some would say.
Here we go. First one going direct. That's better. That's the faster line. This is the final of the K1 under 23 in men. So you need to be throwing down that short line, direct lines. And he knows this course beautifully, using some of his C2 experience, C2 strength there. So 1.12 down at the first split, well in line. I'm surprised he's not up, seeing as he went direct on that first gate. So maybe it is just the flashy ladies move, trying to pull.
How much is course knowledge, local course knowledge? Oh, he's got in a bit of trouble there with the stopper.
Yeah, local course knowledge is huge. I feel like they might have lost a little bit of advantage now that the Dragon's Tail isn't here, because it was such a variable feature. And it's another touch on gate 19 as he comes in very tight. Time slipping away from a Polish athlete as he loses an edge in the unstable water, has to choose the long line down the right, and that puts him into second. So he still slots in just in front of Bowers.
Again, no, even without the 2-second penalty, he would not be quicker than Leitner, who the asterisk has been removed. Christopher Bowers, by the way, has picked up an extra. He finished with 2 gate touches, Chris Bowers. So
okay,
that's
so. Now, Callum Gilbert at the top. Callum asked me to say hello to his amazing aunties and family back in New Zealand, and thank them for all the support they've given him over the years. He's a great young man. We stayed with him earlier this year, actually, in his batch pad over in New Zealand.
So what goes on in Callum Gilbert's batch pad stays in Callum Gilbert's batch pad.
Exactly. He runs a very short line. I'm a little bit nervous about gate 5. It seemed very close, but we'll have to wait and see what the judges say about that.
This is a breakout event for him, although he was 5th at the Lee Valley at the World Cup this year, which was a huge result for him.
His best result ever in Lee Valley. So half a second down on the first split. Short line into gate 11, good sweep out. He's a strong young man. Trains so hard down on the Kaituna. You see him extremely nervous for Callum. He's a great guy, comes over to Australia. Bit of a nerd, does a lot of work on his computer. But
although that's the norm these days, that's not nerd, that's the norm. If you don't do work on your computer, you're considered to be a bit of a freak. Look how quick
he is
Rob.
up, 1.6 up. So Callum is on the charge.
Good to see the New Zealand fans and the Australian fans as well getting behind him as well. The Australian team love him as well, Rob. He's
no.
Still
just came
fast.
in too early into gate 20 there, unfortunately. Will he go in front? I think he will. Just outside.
That gate touch, Callum. That gate touch is going to prove it's too high.
Yeah, so on top of the features changing when the water level rises, the poles get much lower, so the margin for error for the paddlers is decreased significantly. So it's a huge disadvantage, especially for the K1 men who are trying to cut those lines so much, put so much of their body and boat under the poles. It's a huge disadvantage. as I said, though, the water features changed. So with the higher water, the stoppers aren't as strong, aren't as retentive. So perhaps he may have struggled up the top where we couldn't see in gate 6, because you're relying on that stopper to slow you down so you can navigate either with a spin or direct. So yeah, it's a big problem, really.
Yeah, and you feel for Thomas Zimmer, because we know, I know he's a very, very good paddler. And obviously if the conditions were against him and the water level was higher and he couldn't perform at his best, to now ask this young man to come out there and do another run is a big ask, because it is a punishing course and it really saps your body. There's no way he'll be able to come out and perform at his very, very best, and he may think that this has been one that has slipped away from him.
Yeah, unfortunately,
that's the sport.
That's the sport. Yeah, and these things happen.
So we've just been told that the delay will be at least 10 minutes. Rob, I hope you've got lots of good anecdotes to talk about for the next 10 minutes to keep our people at home entertained. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to?
I feel like we're now kind of the cricket commentators. We can start being like Kerry O'Keefe, start rambling. So
let's just have a look now. We've got the computer back up and running. We've got our top 5 as we speak. And yes, Thomas Zimmer, we can now confirm he had 3 gate touches. So how many of those were because of the level? I suppose in the end, that's not the matter. The matter will be, was the water level high when he was on the course? If they determine that it was, and I don't think you could argue it wasn't, because obviously they've seen something during his run and they've called a halt to proceedings. So that will mean, Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, that they will give him the option of doing the run again?
I would think they'd have to. My question is, when did they become aware of that change?
Okay, so was it also for Callum Gilbert?
Yeah, so yeah, as soon as we find out these answers, we'll let you know.
Yeah. So at the moment, the top 3 is Mario Leitner from Austria, who was the very first paddler on the course. I did predict that he would throw down a time that others would find challenging, and so far that has been the case. His time of 87.72, which was 3 seconds slower than the fastest qualifying time in the semis, but still, as we've seen in the finals, anything can happen. Jakub Brzezinski, the pole, he had 1 gate touch, which put him back to, and Callum Gilbert's now got a 50. We're seeing now that Callum Gilbert picked up a 50.
I'm not sure where he would have picked that up.
Must have been. We'll just have a look now. We'll get his run up. He's picked up a 50 on gate 5.
I did call that actually. I was nervous about gate 5. I felt it may not have been whole heads.
Okay. So Callum Gilbert will definitely want to do his run again.
I'd say so if he's given that option. If the water level had risen by that stage. Yeah.
And how long does it take, Rob? How long does it take for the water level to rise? It's obviously a gradual thing, but it's not going to just all of a sudden come in and affect one paddler, is it?
It's not at the matter of 2 minutes that it'll happen. So, yeah, I feel that it probably was, but we'll have to wait and see what our chief officials say.
So I would think the only person who will say no to doing another run will be Mario Leitner. He'd be quite happy just to take his first run.
Yeah, he'd take that.
Jakub Brzezinski sitting in second at the moment. He had a 2-second penalty with a gate touch, but he was still finished 3.5 seconds, almost 3.5 seconds behind Mario Leitner. Christopher Bowers from Great Britain currently sitting in the bronze medal position, 2 gate touches. He would certainly take another run, you would think, for sure, because with 5 paddlers to go, I'm sure Chris Bowers would think the chances of staying in that bronze medal position would be fairly slim. So if he's given the option, what is the prospect, Rob, of them running the whole final?
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point. I think they could. I think they could say that the water level, they might not be able to determine when that actually changed.
I think obviously, without question, the water level was fine for Mario Leitner. He had a clean run, no problems
in terms of the rest of the paddlers, when did it occur?
Yeah, this is the question. Yeah, so that's the big question now.
Yep. So we're just waiting on confirmation here. But as we say, we'll let you know as soon as we know more. Yeah, we've got a beautiful day here with and a great crowd waiting. It's a shame that this has happened, but as we said, it's part of our sport, part of life. Things change, and these paddlers are so good at adapting and evolving. Callum Gilbert actually was doing some following fools the other day, Ross. So maybe he was accounting for these kind of curveballs to come at him. So,
well, it's an interesting time. You've been around on the scene a lot longer than me, Rob, which is quite surprising because you're so much younger than me. But have you ever seen something like this happen before?
No, I haven't. Not in a final. Although a couple of years ago in Tucson, they had some changes to the course.
Last year in Tucson, they cancelled the final day because they had so much rain on the day before, on the Saturday, remember, and Tucson being a natural course, it just flooded the next day and they had to cancel the final day, which in fact, I might just mention, it benefited Zaan Jacques, who's we'll see paddling very, very soon, God willing. Zaan Jacques, who was the fastest qualifier in the canoe, and because they didn't do the semis the next day of the final, he became the winner of that event, so it's a career highlight for Zaan.
I think the most Tucson's the most common place where we've had these kind of incidents. Like you say, because it is a natural river, there's an element of uncontrollability. But we have a little bit more control here, but still some issues with the flow and the entry and the electrics of it. Just waiting to see.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating for everybody involved, obviously, and for some of the athletes, they're going to feel a little bit hard done by. No question about it. And now they will be in there. You can imagine, Rob, the team officials will be in there talking with the course developers, with the ICF. They'll be saying, okay, we think that our athlete needs to have another run because they've been denied a fair chance. So then it comes down to the officials, to the ICF to decide, okay, who deserves another run. And there'll be some tough decisions having to be made here. In the end, I mean, as you said, Rob, it's an outdoor sport. You are at the mercy of the elements. I mean, if you start a final off and then halfway through the final, which we see quite often, it starts belting down with rain or the wind picks up or something like that, that's the way it is. You suck it up. You think, okay, well, today wasn't my day, the weather was against me. Maybe that's the approach we take here. We say, well, this is life. This is the way it's happened.
Yeah. Our sport is all about adapting to the conditions and the elements that you have on that day. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I feel for the organisers as well, because they have put on a fantastic event, and for a malfunction like this to happen, it's a real shame for them, because they've been working tirelessly on putting together this event. And they took on this event, actually. It was meant to be in Brazil earlier this year. So they didn't have as much time to prepare. And they've done such a great job to put on a great event. So kudos to them. Hopefully this problem is sorted as soon as we can.
I'm just waiting for an official. We now know that it will restart in about 9 minutes from now. So what they have to do, Rob and listeners, is they have to go and regulate the dam level, because the water was coming out of the dam too fast. So they can manually change that, obviously. So they need to go and fix that up and just get the levels back as close as possible to how they were before. Whether they'll have to go out now and change the heights of some of the gates, I mean, that takes time. That would be annoying, but obviously they think they can get it up and running and going by 12:30. Will they allow some of the athletes to do reruns? That's another question which we'll update you with as soon as possible. But,
if they don't do reruns, if it is just restart again from our next paddler, Sergei Manistov, it's a big pause for them. It's an unexpected pause.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, Rob. What does it mean for? And now we have these guys have been very patient, sitting in the celebration zone. 1, 2, and 3 at the moment. They pulled up a stool. They're just sitting back, telling a few knock jokes. Obviously,
Yeah.
good English spoken between the three of them. They can all speak quite good English, so no problems there. What is it, Rob, for the guys? Obviously, the elite athletes, everything is set. They would have gone there. They would have looked okay. I'm on the course at 12:08. I will time my build up so that at 12:08 I'm ready to go. Now all of a sudden that's been thrown out. What does that do for an athlete?
Yeah, it's very tough. It's a real skill to have, to be able to regulate yourself and prepare yourself for a race. So they have to kind of get ready, pump themselves up, find that ultimate energy level that
would
suits
you
them.
would you get an athlete off the water and maybe go and sit them down in the tent, or would you want to keep them on the water?
It depends on the athlete. Some athletes need to keep moving. Other athletes might be too amped, and you might pull them off and get them to wait. I'd say they'd just be trying to stay moving, stay calm. But it's a real challenge.
You've got to feel for poor old Sergei Mamistov. As we mentioned, this is his first big final. He's not really had much experience at this level before, and all of a sudden he's the guy who's sitting around waiting to be told when this is going to start again. He must be and sitting in a boat. I mean, is it comfortable sitting in a after a little while? Do you get a bit of a sore backside?
Yeah, they're not built for comfort. They're built for speed. So yeah, I imagine they'll be popping the deck and after having a bit of a cruise and keeping the legs fresh. So,
well, that's the other thing, Rob, because you do get pins and needles, don't you? Your leg can go to sleep in there.
Yeah, and you need all those sensations. Like the kayaks push really hard. What a lot of people don't realise is how much you use your legs in the boat for your stability, for power. So it's very important for your whole body to be activated and ready to go.
So you are watching the 2019 ICF Under-23 and Junior Canoe Slalom World Championships coming to you from Krakow in Poland. If you're just joining us, we've had a little bit of a problem with the water levels here on the course. So officials have had to go and fix that up so that the levels can lower a little bit. They're too high. It's the problem here. And that has made it a bit harder at the gates, as my co-colleague Robin Jeffrey has been explaining. If the water levels go up, it makes it harder to go through the gates. Obviously, the gap between the bottom of the pole and the water is so much tighter, so that is why that has to be regulated. So that is why they're fixing that. And we are halfway through, officially halfway through, or are we? Because will some of the athletes get a chance to race again? We're halfway through technically the men's under-23 kayak final. If you missed the women's under-23 canoe final, it was an absolute cracker, and it was Ana Satilla, the Brazilian, who finally showed us what she's made of and won herself a gold medal in fine style, and it was a sight to behold. Now we're just waiting for the men's under-23 kayak to recommence. My name's Ross Solly. I've been commentating alongside Robin Jeffrey, who was a 2012 London Olympian for the Australian team.
Yeah, it's
okay. I've just been told, Rob, sorry, that the delay's been pushed back another 5 minutes. I'm sorry for this at home, folks, that the uncertainty, because it is annoying, I'm sure, but we've had to push it back another 5 minutes because obviously the level is still a little bit high. And once again, I know at home you're probably cursing and thinking that this has been a really annoying break, but think of the athletes, Sergei Mamistov especially, the poor old Russian, sitting out there waiting to be told that
just building the tension. It's part of the drama.
It is part of the drama.
So
it is part of the drama, but look, it makes you tougher.
Yeah,
Robin.
Yeah, exactly. We had a selection race down in Tasmania, way out in the middle of nowhere, Brady's Lake, beautiful part of the world. Recommend everyone get down there. But a generator failed as I was on the start line, and so it's quite a similar event really. So I just had to stay there. We didn't actually know when the generator would come back on, so they held me on the start line for 10 minutes. This was just to decide whether I'd make my first senior team.
So you weren't nervous at all?
Wasn't nervous at all. And it's one of the biggest whitewater courses as well in the world. Huge drop, very fast. So I was trying to, as I say, regulate, deregulate and upregulate to find that right level every time the information came through. But I think that looking back, it was one of the best things that happened to me, as we see the results coming through for the first half of the race we've had. But it taught me so much about how to regulate myself on the start line. So I'm hoping that the athletes who are in this position are able to use it as an opportunity of learning.
I'm just seeing if we can organise. We've got our man Mikey Meadows down at the finish in the celebration area. I'm going to see if we can get a quick interview with Mario Leitner. It'd be interesting to know what he thinks about the way things are going. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to ask you in a minute, Rob, because you've paddled all around the world, what you think is the nicest course that you've paddled on, both scenically and challenging wise, because there are so many courses now and there are more and more coming online all the time, and some of them I know the athletes absolutely love and some of them the athletes absolutely dread. Have you got favourites and ones that you used to dread? Yeah, I've definitely got favourites. Probably a course that isn't used so often anymore, and certainly not on the international circuit, is Bourg-Saint-Maurice in the Alps in France. One of the most picturesque, but also just the fastest water that you've ever paddled on. So that was my favourite place to paddle. Whenever we got a chance, me and a couple of the older Australian team members would get there, and yeah, the higher the water, the better there. I suppose London will always be a favourite of yours because it was the Olympics. Yeah, such good memories at London, and it's different. Very different to, say, Bourg, where you've got the natural beauty around you, but London, the whole vibe around the Olympics. When we first went to London for training camps, it's a very kind of isolated city, even though it's a city of 10 million, is it? But everyone's going about doing their own thing. And when the games happened, it was just such a celebration of humanity, people coming together, enjoying. And I've never seen the Brits so friendly, so that was great to see. They really did put on a welcoming show, didn't they? And Rob, do you have young athletes come up to you now and ask, what is it like competing in the Olympics? What do you tell them? What do you tell these athletes here who are dreaming of one day representing their countries? And as we speak, there's a two-time Olympian on the screen, Anna Satilla. What do you tell them when they ask you what's it like at an Olympics? I struggle to find the words, to be honest, because there's so much going on as you're preparing. It's stressful, it's intense, but at the same time, you're in the village, you're amongst the best athletes in the world. You're just trying to soak up as much as you can. I took the approach that I wanted to be a sponge and just learn as much as I could, and try and bring that into my race. As part of the Australian team, we had some great mentors that came in, Australian heroes, Olympic and non-Olympic sports coming in to mentor us and help us deal with the stresses and challenges of the Olympics, and then also being able to talk to those other current Olympic athletes was just incredible. So for my when I'm talking to juniors, I just say I've never learnt more. I've never had such good feelings than I did at the Olympics, because everyone's so excited to be there. It's an incredible event. Like I said, a celebration of humanity where sport's the vehicle to bring everyone together. I often hear athletes talk about, and I think it's one of the biggest challenges at the Olympics, is to stay focused, because as you mentioned, Rob, there is so much going on around you. And I know for a lot of teams, they actually prefer to have their athletes, and I think in Rio last year, I think the Australian team stayed, the Canoe team stayed away from the rest of the village because they wanted the athletes to stay away and stay focused, because there's so much going on and it's so easy, especially for an athlete at their very first Olympics, to get caught up with everything that's going around you. And you see Usain Bolt walking past you in the dining hall and stuff like that. It can be a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, so for London, we were given the option: did we want to go to the village and stay in the village, or did we want to stay close to the course? Myself and the rest of the Australian team wanted to use that energy from the village, and because our event is relatively early in the schedule, Canoe Slalom, everyone is still very focused in the village. So we thought that would be an advantage for us. We'd feel that energy and take that out to the course. But for some people, that doesn't work.
The canoe sprint guys who are athletes who have the second week, of course, it's a
very different story for them.
There's a lot of celebrations going on. Well, here we go, folks. Exciting moment. We have an athlete in the starting block. No word yet on whether anyone's going to be given a second run. We'll wait for official confirmation on that. But this is the Russian, Sergei Mamestov. He's spent longer in a boat now than he's ever spent in his life.
Yeah, so how will he handle the pressure? To me, he looks fairly calm. So that's a good sign. Wonder if he does need to bring those regulation levels back up.
And we'll soon see when he gets out there what the level of the water is like. But I'm assuming, Rob, that can you see with the naked eye there looking out there, does it look like it's back down to how it was before?
Yeah, the poles look like they're at a decent height now. It's hard to see from this distance. Outside pole and gate 15, perhaps a little bit low. So could that be a factor? Will the coaches have been telling this information to the athletes? I'm sure that they'd have a lot of their support staff running around checking the levels, trying to relay as much information to the athlete as possible without bombarding them. That's the balance as the coach and support staff.
Yeah,
you want to give them the information, but
leave their heads clear as well at the same time. Yeah. So we're about 10 seconds away now from a start, and here we go. We're underway. Finally, we're back on course, and the time to beat is Mario Leitner's 87.72, set by the Austrian. There he is, centre number 7 is Mario Leitner, looking a little bit nervous as he watches now. These boys will be tired of sitting on the pine as well, waiting for something to happen. Yeah, they've got splinters sitting down there, but Russian going for the direct move. Has to be very patient. I wondered if that was a 50. Wow.
As soon as you see someone lay their head on its side, it's a bad sign.
Honestly,
they know
poor
that
old Sergei, he's been sitting there waiting, waiting. Comes out, gate 6, misses it completely.
Yeah, I feel for him.
I feel for him
very,
too.
very tough situation.
Horrible thing for him to have to come out and deal with. And as I said, this is his first ever final, so I'm sure he feels just getting here has been a great accomplishment, but I don't think he'll feel that the gods have been on his side with the massive delay that we've just experienced, and now he's come out, and it was a close 50, Rob.
It was. I hope he can lay down a good raw time as he's cutting the line again and takes another touch on the inside pole of 15. So
he's out of medal, unfortunately. If you're just joining us as well, Callum Gilbert, the New Zealander, unfortunately picked up a late 50 was given to him, which is his time was very good. That could be another
50 on 19. Was there any boat in there for Sergei? So very tough for the young Russian. So yes, that's his time there. He obviously, when they look up and they see the 50, they're never happy about it. I'm sure he's not happy about everything that's happened in the last half an hour. But there he is. His run has been done. Now the Frenchman, Mathieu Madore, 5th in the Junior World Championships way back in 2014. Been promising a lot since then. Yeah, he made the senior team last year and he's back on it this year, so he's in good form. To make the French team is an incredible achievement in itself. The depth of the French squad is so large. So it's a good start from Madore. Picks up, gets the boat up to speed. He's got a quick stroke rate, runs it round and just holds the inside, drags up a little bit high, so he's stuck in the stopper, but he uses that to do an excellent direct. Great control in the stopper there by Madore. Is that water? I think that was a water touch. We'll have to wait for confirmation. Good spin, stays in the flow, keeps on moving down. So 0.29 up. It's looking like Medor has used the break to get himself right, learn as much as he can from the previous paddlers.
I suppose one of the things about getting the break, Rob, is they would all know now, they'd all have confirmed what the time is they have to beat. Because quite often when they're sitting up the top there, they don't know that sort of stuff, do they?
Yeah, you might hear a snippet here and there, but they'll know, and maybe there might even be more information. This move's on, this move isn't. So there could be a benefit even. So he's 1 second up now. Can he hold it to the finish? Maintains the line, good speed through, having to duck a weave a little bit through gate 19.
I think he's, if he gets out...
trips on the paddle. That's a little mistake that could cost him.
I think he's going to be fast, though. He's be quickest. Yep.
Yeah, goes into the lead, 86.32.
That is a great run. A great run from the Frenchman. Clearly into the lead, clearly into the gold medal position. The time that he had to beat was 87.72. There is an asterisk next to his name.
Yeah, I think that could be on gate 19. It was a quick movement to the back of the boat. It looked okay to me, though.
So at the moment, he's in the gold medal position. I'll tell you as soon as that asterisk is removed. I've just had it confirmed there will be no reruns. There will be no reruns, so they believe that the race was stopped on time before it caused any problems for any of the athletes. So no reruns. So what you're seeing here, folks, this is the final. There are now 3 athletes to go. And this young man, as we mentioned, he actually benefited from a water problem in Tucson last year when torrential rain flooded the course and cancelled the last day of proceedings. And at the time, he had...
I think another water touch.
Water touch, okay.
And he's going direct. So first athlete to go direct, and it's paying dividends. 1 second up, big edge coming into gate 11, running it tight. That's one of the best moves we've seen. I think he's making more time here on the rest of the class. God, touch on gate 12. I didn't see that. It must have been very small. So I have to wait and see, will that hurt him? I think he was almost 2 seconds up anyway, so he could be on the mark as he runs that extremely well. He is on an absolute flyer.
Just outside at the moment, so it's going to be nip and tuck. It's going to be very close as he comes down to these last 2 gates. Last 3 gates. 2 gates now, sorry, yes.
Super smooth through 19. Running it around. Good control. Again, he's going to the right-hand side of the stopper. The only paddler to go right-hand side. And he's up.
Oh, my goodness.
What a finish.
Incredible back half of that race. That is a big finish from this young man whose claim to fame before this was the most unusual gold medalist in the history of the sport, having won it by qualifying fastest last year in Tucson at a World Cup. And now he sits in the gold medal position at an under-23 World Championships. But 2 athletes to go. Jean-Jacques has a medal. What colour will it be? He also has an asterisk next to his name, by the way, but at the moment, he is in the gold medal position.
I think the only reason I could see the asterisk is possibly they're reviewing the touch.
Yeah, because you didn't see it actually happen.
No, so we'll have to wait and see. Felix Oschmutz, this guy is fast.
Yeah, he's a former under-20, he's former junior world champion from 2017, and the year before that he won silver. So very good paddler. The interesting thing is if he finishes top 3, he'll knock his teammate out of the medal. So there'll be mixed feelings for Austrian fans. Felix Oschmutz
picked up a touch on gate 10 as well, and he's having to wait. Another touch on gate 11, and
that unfortunately you cannot get away with 2 touches.
Yeah, I was going to say he had the 2 best spins on the top section, maintained good speed.
The asterisk has come off Mathieu and Medore's name, so he's clear. There's still an asterisk next to Jean-Jacques, though, so we'll keep an eye on that and let you know if there's any developments. But unfortunately, 2 gate touches for Felix that will...
But he's fast, isn't he?
He's
so
fast.
With 2 touches, he's only 2.97 down, so his raw time is blistering.
But we know that Jean-Jacques was incredibly fast in his bottom half of the course.
Yeah, I'm surprised more people haven't gone to the right down the bottom, because this last stopper is much meatier, much bigger stopper on the left. It's a bigger turn, you're going to the left. Yes, it's a shorter line, but I still think there's more speed going down the right.
So the two touches have put him out of medal prospect, unfortunately for Felix.
Here's a shot of our medal presenters in their traditional garb.
So we have a Frenchman, the last.
Yeah.
What is he doing? What is that all about?
He was in pole position, Ross, coming into the final.
Paul Olin from France, the one man who can upset the standings at the moment, because at the moment it's Zen Jux from Slovenia who is sitting in the gold medal spot. Paul was really fast this morning. 84.65 was his time, and if he does that again, if he repeats that here, he will win the gold medal. Boys are having fun, and they
yeah, they're all smiles.
Yep.
Oh, that was delightful. Gate 6, excellent boat control.
Well, just news coming through. Zen Jux has been given a 50.
Wow.
Zen Jux has just been given a 50, which has dropped him from gold medal position down to 7th position.
Well, that will wipe the smile
So
off his
that
face,
is a
unfortunately.
huge change, which means that Mathieu Madore is now sitting in the gold medal position, and the one man who can knock him out is his French teammate. So that news just coming through, that is a major development late in this event.
Yeah, huge development.
There's still an asterisk next to Zen Jux' name, so he may be challenging that, but that is a big call, Rob, late in this event. So let's see, can Paul Olin knock his teammate off the gold medal position, off the podium?
He is absolutely flying here.
Ooh, he's
0.21 up. It's still very tight racing here, but he's been pushing every line, every limit. Strokes shortening slightly, getting into a little bit of a sweep pattern. Oh, and he goes for the sweep up on the last up. That is a tricky up to do a sweep up on. I think he's going to do it.
He's going to get it.
He's going to do it convincingly.
Way! What a finish. That is a
French
big
fans
finish.
go off.
Wow, that is incredible. That is a big, big finish for Paul Olin. He has snatched the gold medal from his teammate, from his French teammate. It is a French 1-2 here.
His teammates get around him.
What a final with that late 50 penalty giving to Zen Jux after he'd crossed the line to drop him down to 8th. Paul Olin has held on, or stormed home to snatch the gold from his French teammate Mathieu Madore by 0.3 of a second. And Mario Leitner, the Austrian, the first athlete on the course, he manages to take the bronze. Although there is an asterisk next to Felix Oschmarch, his Austrian teammate, who finished 4th.
Oschmarch's touches were pretty clear cut.
The asterisk has just come off. So the official, well, I've just said that, but now there's an asterisk next to Paul Olin's name. Surely we could not have more drama. Has there not been enough drama already in this final?
I didn't see anything that was questionable for Paul.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we now have an asterisk next to Paul Olin's name. He is unofficially the gold medalist in a time of 86.02. If he's awarded a touch, he will drop down to 4th position.
Oh, that would be cruel.
So we are just waiting now. That what you see up there is unofficial. That is unofficial. We are waiting for the asterisk to come off Paul Olin's name. So they are looking at something from his run. Mathieu Madore is clean. He's clear. He is sitting in 2nd position at the moment. Could he become their gold medalist? Who knows? Mario Leitner from Austria is sitting, well, a lot of 350s in a final.
I could have predicted that. I think the
asterisk has come off.
Okay, it's
I can
official
let you
now.
know at home now. It is official. Paul Olin is the gold medalist.
Yeah, French 1-2.
French 1-2.
A great result for them, and their great championships continue. So congratulations to him. He managed to handle him and Madore in particular managed to handle that break in the race extremely well. Came out and delivered. That was a fantastic final from Paul. He was the one who cut the lines the most out there today. So for him to cut the lines and navigate it successfully, kudos.
Oh, I don't know about you, Rob, but I am feeling drained. That was a roller coaster ride, that final. What we've seen, it was just amazing. We're waiting now to hear from our gold medalist. I can hear him in the background. Here he is. Let's have a listen.
Congratulations to Paul Olin, our new world champion. How do you feel? Well, I'm feeling good. I did my race. It was a good race, I think. And yeah, I was fast enough. No mistakes. Yeah, I just enjoy it.
And I think you like this course here because you were in final in 2016 for the Under-23 World Championship. Is it your favorite course?
Maybe now it will be. Yeah, I really like this course. I think I'm good on it. So.
Great. Having your friend Mathurin Adore next to you who got the silver medal today.
I'm so proud of him. We trained together for a lot of years, so that's very good to be with my mate. And we made a medal in team 2 with Malo, so yeah, and what a good day, and well to finish the under 23 categories because it was our last world champ.
And what about you, Mathurin? How do you feel?
Yeah, it's very nice. We had to wait a lot before the start because there was like some issue with the water. But we feel like quite relaxed at the start with Paul. We were talking about the gates, if they were low or not, but finally I made a run which was like good, not perfect, but it's enough to be on the podium, so I'm happy.
Great, congratulations to France, congratulations to Paul, well done.
Yeah, very happy training partners there. We were just hearing that they've been training together for so long, Rob, and also Mathurin was just talking how with the delay they were talking amongst each other, the pair of them obviously, you know, they were sitting up there waiting for the start, talking with each other, talking about the gates, obviously I'm sure they were talking about what they could do and how they could turn that into their favour. And Paul was asked if this is now his favourite course because he was a finalist back in 2016 in the under-23s, and he said, oh, it could become my favourite course. And it's their last year as well as under-23s, and I think that he was also saying they were teammates in the team event as well and enjoyed some success there. So a good outcome for the French duo, and fantastic to see them 1 and 2 on the podium.
Yeah, very close. So that paddle trip we just saw from Mador at the bottom, was that the difference? He tripped on his paddle on the exit of gate 20.
Well, yeah, it's only 0.3 of a second splitting the top two. So
just a full stroke there, so that's a significant amount of time.
So what a fantastic final, what a fascinating final. You know, it will go down in history as one of the strangest finals I think that we've seen, with the stop halfway through for water problems and then some incredible racing, and then the drama of having the Slovenian who crossed the line so fast and so far in front of the rest of the field, and then well and truly after he'd crossed the line, the judges had gone back and reviewed one of his gates and decided that he hadn't gone through it properly, and they put a 50-second penalty on him, which was we're just having a look now, it was gate 8.
Gate 8. I do think he was very close on gate 8 as he went around, but yeah, they're the lines that you have to cut. We saw Mathieu Mador being very, very close on gate 8 as well, so it's
and we do have the technology these days, Rob. Not only do we have the judges standing on the edge of the water, and they've got a very good view, they've got a bird's eye view of what they can see, but we also have cameras from all angles looking at each gate, so they can go back to the judges and they can review from all angles to make sure that they haven't missed something or that someone hasn't been unfairly penalised. It's still not perfect, it never will be.
No, but it's a huge improvement in the last couple of years. The gate review system that's been brought in by the ICF has been fantastic. It's cleared things up so much from an athlete and coach perspective. We can give the information to the athlete, yes there was, or no there wasn't a touch, and that happens very fast, and it's a brilliant initiative that they've brought in.
So very soon we will bring you a medal presentation. I'm sure we'll see a lot of emotion, especially from this young lady here when she steps up to get her gold medal, Ana Satilla from Brazil. I can guarantee that you will see her. Well, I can't guarantee. What guarantees are there in life? But I'm pretty certain that you'll see her in Tokyo next year at the Olympics representing Brazil. Who else will we see that we've seen today? It's hard to know. This is an Olympic year for so many, Olympic selection year for so many countries, and there's so much in the mix as well. Wouldn't it be great if we see some of the athletes who we've seen competing here managing to step up and compete at an Olympics next year. But it's such a great platform for the young paddlers to come here and experience this. And we're seeing some incredible depth. We're seeing some new names come up. We're seeing some exciting young paddlers that we know are going to be around for the best part of a decade and entertaining us and just lifting the bar, Rob, even higher. The sport is improving all the time, and we're seeing new things being done, and new, even now, with the cross switching and things like that, we're always seeing new things being tried.
Yeah, and I think the athletes now being able to do multiple classes is bringing new dimensions into both classes. So we're seeing the learning that's being done in C1 being transferred to their K1 and vice versa, K1 to C1. So we're seeing a few more sweeps in the C1, which is interesting. It's not very traditional to do many sweeps in C1. And in the K1, I think we're seeing much better boat control as an effect of how they have to use the boat in C1.
Are you surprised there aren't more paddlers doubling up in the men? In the women now, it's almost commonplace. There are so many women doing both. In the men, Daniel Watkins from Australia is a leader. He's one of the first to do it, and I thought that would be the start of several more athletes coming across, but it's not happening very much. Are you surprised?
Yeah, I am. I think we might have to wait for these current junior and under 23 athletes to come through. There's a few examples in there. Mikel Trave from Spain, and another Spanish paddler, Po Echeniz.
Yes.
The very, very accomplished C1 and K1 paddlers. So the Spanish are embracing it. It's a bit, I think, almost a cultural thing in the teams, whether their coaches are encouraging them to double up. It is a big ask, as we've said. It's a big mental load, big physical load, especially in the training before a big competition. You're having to divide your training between the two classes, so it does take a little while to learn that. So, yeah, I mean, I think the best way to start is to do it early, to do both classes from an early age. Sets you up well to have that option.
Without giving away too many secrets about what's happening back in Australia, but with young paddlers that are coming through, young male paddlers that are coming through, are you encouraging, because you're involved in the coaching system there, are you encouraging them to try both?
Oh, certainly, especially really early on. Getting them in both classes is a very important step for us. You can see with one of our junior guys, Jack Choate, he's doing both classes, and same with Mark Crosby. He's even though he wasn't selected in K1 this year, he's a very accomplished K1 paddler. So we're certainly encouraging, particularly in the junior side of things. Maybe they'll go on and specialise later, but I think it's crucial to give them that experience and expose them to both classes early on.
You're watching live pictures, as you can see. Live
questionable
pictures,
dancing.
Questionable dancing styles. Live pictures coming to you from Krakow in Poland of the 2019 ICF Under 23 and Junior Canoe Slalom World Championships. If you're just joining us, you've missed an incredible morning of racing, an incredible morning of activity on and off the water, and just bringing you up to speed with what you've missed. We're about to have a medal ceremony in just a matter of minutes, but the men's under 23 K1, we saw gold and silver to France. We saw Paul Olden, the last paddler on the course, snatch the gold medal from his teammate and training partner Mathieu Madore, who was second, with Mario Leitner from Austria taking the bronze. And earlier today in the women's under 23 C1, we saw Ana Satilla from Brazil. She was also the last paddler on the course, showing no sign of nerves, flying home to take the gold medal in a stunning time. Rob thought she might go over 100, and for a little while we thought she was under 100, and for a little while we thought that was going to happen, but in the end just going over the 100 mark, but good enough to take the gold from Elsa Minazova from Russia, who finished second but had 4 seconds in penalties, and without those penalties she would have knocked off Ana Satilla.
Fastest run of the day, and like we said, a real breakout performance from Elsa. and great to see the Russian team doing so well as well.
And the bronze medal in that event going to Slovakia with Monika Skacheva. I think we are now about to cross down for the medal presentation. And the first medal presentation will be the women's under-23 C1. And this afternoon, just while we're waiting to bring you pictures of the medal ceremony, this afternoon, of course, we're back with the juniors, Rob, and there's be some great racing this afternoon as well in the junior K1 and C1. Sorry, it's the junior K1 and C1 men and women this afternoon. So women C1 and men K1 in the junior competition, which will be thrilling, and we will bring you live pictures from that later on this afternoon. So stay with us for that this afternoon. There's a good crowd been here all week for this event. It's a fantastic location. You know, it looks like, and we're staying not far from here, and it feels like we're in the middle of the farmland and in the middle of nowhere, but we're only 10 minutes drive from the centre of Krakow. It's remarkable.
No, it's great, and yeah, as we were saying, yes, a great city. Here we
go. Let's cross down now for the medal ceremony for the women's under-23 C1.
President and member of the International Canoe Federation Executive Committee. He is accompanied by the leader of the Brazilian delegation.
Brązową medalistką Mistrzostw Świata Juniorów i Młodzieżowców do 23 konkurencji C1 kobiet młodzieżowców została.
Bronze medalist representing Slovakia, Monika Skachova.
Bardzo wysoki poziom, spokojnie mogłoby też w seniorskich zawodach tutaj walczyć o
Monika Skacheva, I think she will be a name to watch in the future. She's obviously all the paddlers who are from Slovakia are very strong. It's a great system there, and she's shown what she can do today and will definitely step up in the future.
Mistrzostw Świata Juniorów i Młodzieżowców do lat 23 w konkurencji C1 kobiet młodzieżowców została.
Silver medal representing the Russian Federation, Alsu Minazova.
This will definitely, Rob, be a name to watch in the future. I mean, it's so impressive today. Those two gate touches just stole the gold medal away from her, but she's obviously a talent for the future.
Yeah, I haven't seen the pure speed from Minazova before, so very exciting to see just how fast she went, because with that speed she can start to challenge the likes of Satilla and Jess Fox and Mallory Franklin as well, and the other Brits.
Mistrzynią świata. Mistrzostw Świata Juniorów i Młodzieżowców do lat 23 w konkurencji C1 kobiet młodzieżowców została.
Gold medalist and world champion at these 2019 ICF Canoe Slalom Junior and Under-23 World Championships, representing Brazil, Ana Satila.
There's a lot of emotion there. There's a lot of pent-up frustration which has been dogging her for... Look at that, and that's Al Tomasini, of course, the ICF board member from Brazil. He'd be pretty happy as well. I saw him this morning. He just showed he had both fingers crossed for today, that today would be the day. She's pretty happy, isn't she?
Yeah. It's such a special moment for Anna, and such hard work that's gone into this, and to finally break through is excellent.
We'll have the anthem for Brazil.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Brazil.
Dziękujemy bardzo.
She was holding it, trying hard to hold it. You're looking a bit emotional, mate. You okay, Rob?
Yeah, no, I'm okay.
It's a bit teary-eyed here.
Oh,
You love a good national anthem, I know, don't you?
I do. Can't help myself. No, but it was so good to see. Like I said, I had goosebumps when she finished her race then, because it was just such an excellent performance and so well earned. And great to see a non-European country as well getting on the
Fantastic.
top.
Yeah. Yep. Cannot be more excited about the fact that we're spreading the countries wide and the medals wide and far. And Anna Satilla picking up that gold medal for Brazil. Of course, Brazil hosted the World Championships last year, and I know that Anna was devastated that she couldn't pick up a medal in front of her home crowd. She won the Extreme, I think, the Extreme Championships.
Yep.
But disappointed she couldn't pick one up in the K1 or the C1. She's picked one up now at the World Under-23 Championships.
Yeah. Will that open the floodgates now?
Look, what can it do for her confidence? Who can tell? It's a big change in your life, isn't it, when you all of a sudden you learn how to get onto the top of a podium?
Yeah. There's the little steps that you take. You break through the semis, break through the finals, and to finally break through into that gold medal position is huge for Anna.
So that's the first medal presentation out of the way. We are now waiting for the presentation for the men's under-23 K1. We'll once again hear the French national anthem, which I find quite stirring, quite uplifting.
Yeah, I'll probably be teary at the end of this one as well.
You might do, yeah. You okay? I'm a bit worried about you. Do you need me to get you some Kleenex or some tissues? You're going to soldier on? You're going to toughen up?
I'll toughen up.
Good man.
Cannon Concrete coming up.
Good man. And here they come, the medalists. It's been a long time for them. Waiting while they fixed up the water problems in the middle of the race and having a chat there, waiting to get on the water and to show what they can do. And they both brought their A games today, well and truly. Let's have a listen in now for the introductions for the medal ceremony for the men's under-23 K1.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the medalists for the men's kayak under-23.
Medale wręczać będą.
The medals will be presented by Mr. Jean-Michel Prono, International Canoe Federation Canoe Slalom Technical Committee Chairman and member of the International Canoe Federation Board of Directors. He is accompanied by the leader of the French delegation.
Brązowy medal Mistrzostw Świata Juniorów i Młodzieżowców do lat 23 konkurencji K1 mężczyzn młodzieżowców zdobył.
Bronze medal representing Austria, Mario Leitner.
Well, Mario Leitner, he's getting a handy little collection of medals as well. He picked up the Junior World Championship gold, I think it was, back in 2014 in Penrith, wasn't it? In Penrith, and the silver in 2017 in the under-23. Been around for a little while now.
Okay, so he's almost got the full set.
Yep.
Well, in under-23s he has the full set combining.
Świata Juniorów i Młodzieżowców do lat 23 w konkurencji K1 mężczyzn młodzieżowców został.
Silver medalist representing France, Maturin Mador.
Bardzo dobry, bardzo pewny przejazd, najbardziej doświadczony z całej finałowej dziesiątki.
Very worthy silver medalist. I mean, either of these Frenchmen, if they had have won the gold, we wouldn't have batted an eyelid. They're both very accomplished paddlers, and in the end, quite fitting, I think, that they've taken gold and silver.
Yeah, excellent performance. Looking adorable up there.
Adorable. Oh, come on. Did you make that up, or is that his nickname?
It is now.
Mistrzostw Świata Juniorów Młodzieżowców do lat 23 w konkurencji K1 mężczyzn młodzieżowców został.
Gold medalist and world champion for the men's kayak under 23 at these 2019 ICF Canoe Slalom Junior and Under 23 World Championships. Representing France, Paul Ulhen.
Wielkie brawa dla tego zawodnika.
Pretty stoked too. He's pretty happy. It's a big, as we mentioned yesterday, it's a big step up onto that block of rock
Yeah,
for the number one position. He has now, this is his last year in the under 23 division, so he'll be mixing it with the best in the world next year. And as you said, Rob, it's a tough gig to get onto that French team, so who knows, it will be tough for a bloke who's just won an under 23 world championship gold medal not to be able to get on a senior team, but that's the French system for you. They're very good paddlers.
So strong.
Let's stand in
Now we have the national anthem for France.
of the national anthem of France.
Dziękujemy Państwu za poranną audycję. Zapraszamy na popołudniowe finały. Będziemy się z Państwem żegnać. Tak jak wspominaliśmy, od godziny 16:35 finał C1 juniora. Już zapraszamy.
Very happy man, very happy crowd. Thank you for your company this morning. Hope you can join us again this afternoon. Rob, thank you once again, and we're looking forward to you joining me this afternoon for the juniors, the gold medal competition. But it's been great having your company this morning. It's been fantastic racing, and we'll see you again in a couple of hours for what should be a gripping finale.